So this is another podcast. Right now I don't even, how do you even describe what we're talking about? Or what's the actual phrase or word that would describe what we're talking about?
Basically, just before we started recording, we were talking about the thing you said you and your girlfriend had a discussion about how an incident occurred where you had this white woman that's being racist. Then you was telling me how earlier where you saw these brothers, walking down on like Chamber Ave, sagging and stuff.
Pants. Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing how you was saying that she was kind of making the argument that white racists make the whole white race look bad, and how with black people like a handful make blacks look bad. But the difference is the fact that whites are not being seen as a monolithic group, which means you can have all different types of whites. You can have the hillbillies, the rednecks, the preppies. You can have the yuppies, even the ones who may go as far as say they down with the hood, whatnot. You can have all of that in the white race, and even the punk rocks and all that. All that can be accepted.
Anything with that gothic.
Yeah. See, all that's accepted in the white race, but in black race, it's only one. It's one thing. It's a monolithic thing. So
true.
If you're a black man, you are already expected to be a certain way. If you a black woman, you actually expect to be a certain way. If you don't fit that norm, well, that's more of a problem among blacks than it is among whites.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it was at. It's the idea that, like you said, if a white person be a racist, that's only that one particular white person, or maybe that particular.
Maybe even just the family itself.
Yeah, just them. If a black person be a racist, it's not just that one person. It's practically the entire demographic.
Yeah, pretty much. And I wasn't mad at my girlfriend when she said that. I had to I don't want to use the word check her, but I was like, hey, but you do know because of like black and Mexican people, if one person looks like is a bad seed, then they'll think the entire bunch is a bad seed compared to like white people. She was like, yeah, you're right about that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to. I actually wanted her to be here to do this recording. I'll probably do a second one, whatever, if we like run out of time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not really fair, but yeah, it's just not fair. How that is. It makes me even more mad the fact that when people try to say, "Oh, when like Black Lives Matter, whatever, stop killing our kids and all stuff like that." Mm-hmm. Again, it's still a social issue for the fact that if it's an innocent black dude, like me or you, whatever, we're walking down the street, well dressed or dressed decent enough, not pants sagging, not doing anything stupid or saying anything stupid. I mean, you can say stupid stuff, whatever. It's up to you. And they get the cops, whatever. They're looking for a suspect, whatever. And they're like, "Oh, he matches the description, whatever." Like, no, he doesn't. And you actually bring up the description. They're not even close to being the same person. No. We're always like our brother's keeper, I guess, to a certain point. Yeah. Always when it comes to like blacks and Mexicans, at least, which is not fair. And I'm not fully blaming it on. I mean, I don't know. I guess I will blame it on society. I can't really. I don't know. This
society is complex because thing is, when we talk about what we had stated earlier, some people in certain circles in black folk among black people who call themselves the conscious ones may refer to the fact that white people are not seen as like a monolithic group as a form of white privilege, which makes entirely no sense.
Yeah,
that's not really privilege. That's perspective. Among like the whole black people, especially talking about the Black Lives Matter thing, you don't hear talk about the Black Lives Matter when it comes down black on black crimes, actual shooting, all the stuff that goes on in Chicago and stuff.
It's so annoying. I think I told you this like a few weeks ago. I think I seen it one time which they spoke about a black on black crime, and I think it was like a brother killing his own brother, or whatever, by accident, whatever. And that was like the only time I seen that. Other than that, every single day, every other hour shooting, they never speak about that. And granted, you know what? I understand. That's too many damn rallies they would have to go to.
Yeah, that would be too many of them.
You're like, okay, guys, it was 12 o'clock, the last killing. It's now 2:21.
Yeah,
like, we don't feel like doing this. We don't have enough money to do another damn rally. Like, come on, guys, stop.
Yeah, not only that, man. It's like, a lot of folks, got a problem with All Lives Matter because they feel like the All Lives Matter thing is pretty much a slap in the face of the Black Lives Matter. In which it is, but at the same time, Black Lives Matter is not exactly what, is for support of all black lives anyway. Mm-mm. So it's almost like, when people spell this whole Black Lives Matter, then here come White Lives Matter. It's almost like, All Lives Matter. All Lives Matter almost sound like it's telling Black Lives Matter to shut up. Which in a lot of
is.
ways they kind of do need to shut up because they're not in support of all black lives anyway.
No, because when it first came out, I was in support of it, but again, my eyes were still somewhat shut. Like with the whole, before I got more information about Mike Brown, I was like, yeah, that's pretty effed up that they killed him. I remember hearing about that when I was younger, living in New York, how they like killed some quote unquote innocent and actual innocent people, and then like later on when I got a little older, got some more, and even within that same year, that same month, I got more information about Mike Brown's situation. I was like, he doesn't necessarily have to die, but he's actually being in jail right now.
Actually, when you talking about Mike Brown, it reminded me of the cop killing that happened in Charlotte, late summer of last year. Interesting thing about it, a few months before that, the police chief, they had actually dubbed a new police chief by the name of Kerr Putney. Thing is, I don't know Kerr Putney really, but the thing is, me and him graduated from the same high school.
Damn.
And all of that, I actually went to school and I used to go to church with his niece. So I not only I know his niece, I know his sister and his mother and his cousins. So I'm pretty much familiar with the family.
Damn.
And so not long after he actually became police chief for Charlotte, that's when the whole cop killing episode happened. Thing is, I was meaning to ask his niece, which is I consider a good friend of mine, about the whole thing that was the whole cop killing. What would he do, or how he address that if that would happen on his watch? I didn't ask the question, but I should have, because not even 2 or 3 months later, he had to deal with that.
Yeah, that is a good question, because like as this whole trying to reform cops relationship between civilians and cops, we need to speak more about that. Ask them like, hey, like, how do you deal with this? That your people, your fellow officers are being targeted because they're officers, and you can also we have some good conversations because we can say, hey, your coworkers are getting targeted because they're officers. My people are getting targeted because of the color of their skin, and then I also want to go in depth and say because it'll bring out a lot of good conversations. But going back to some more on the topic about like how we have to be our brothers' keepers based on their behavior, their peers' behavior. I'm going to pick not blame. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I'm just going to just say it, like it's in multiple avenues, like I always say, and it's kind of annoying how the fact that again we are brothers, even if I don't even know you, keeper based on what they did before. It's not fair that I gotta adhere to their the issues that you had with this guy just because he wasn't doing the right thing, and I'm being targeted because I had a similar skin tone to him or my hair looks similar to him, but I dress nothing like him. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, like I said, brother, men like me and you have to deal with this, on a regular basis, and And somehow in the black community, we actually get called out as being sours and lame because we don't have criminal records and stuff like that.
Yeah, Uncle Tom's or something like that. Like,
yeah, because we can see right through that. Like, this mess is not really helping none of us. Like, y'all want to perpetuate already something that's been proven to be a failed, I can't even call it an experiment. It's a failed culture per se.
Pretty much,
all this glorifying violence and stuff like. We live in a time that now a lot of the parents are, they got children as teenagers and stuff. Now they pretty much my age. How they start to think that, that some of them, they growing up, they saw maybe some of their boys, some of their cousins get shot through gang violence. Now they got the age now, you may end up seeing your own children suffering the same fate as your boys and your cousins.
Pretty much. If that stuff doesn't stop soon, which I don't think it is, like you're just pretty much gonna we're gonna go from 13% of the population to 5% or something like that. And I really wish I can go back in time and figure out when the hell did this glorifying the culture of just violence happen, because
it had to happen sometime during the 60s, because it was a lot of stuff going on during the 60s that kind of flew under the radar. Everybody know about the whole civil rights thing and everything else. There were other movements that wasn't getting that much attention. I mean, like a lot of people who actually was the founders of the Bloods and Crips and stuff like that. These people was what? Children or around 50. They were born in the 50s.
True.
So they grew up, spending their childhood seeing all these marches and protests and seeing, other blacks getting hit with water cannons and attacked by dogs and stuff. and that plays a role on the children that were seeing that or growing up experiencing that in their early childhood. So by the time they hit 7, some of them probably was just been born in the 60s, whatnot. That pretty much led to maybe the second way to what they came to on his Bloods and Crips, because Bloods and Crips are actually older than myself, and I'm 33.
Yeah, I know. And weren't they like I wouldn't necessarily compare them to Black Panthers, but weren't they? Well, at least the Crips were created to be similar to the Black Panthers, which is protected neighborhoods and stuff like that.
That what they were supposed to be, but they started preying on the very neighborhood they're supposed to be protected.
Yeah,
and the Bloods was formed in order to counter the Crips. Next thing you know, we got this whole mess where folk and people, power rules and all this stuff. Now nobody knows who's really beefing with who. Now you got Bloods beefing with Bloods, Crips beefing with Crips, Bloods and Crips beefing. You go on Facebook, you see everybody waving guns, throwing up crooked fingers, waving around red and blue bandanas, and wearing red and blue fitted hats. I'm like, okay, what is all this all about?
And pants sagging for them all. At the end of the day, as much as I despise the gang culture, can you guys just get along? You all are sagging your pants and you all looking ridiculous. Just say, hey, we're a giant group of retards and we are looking ridiculous. Just unite upon that. Just be like something simpler. Like everybody has their things that they can agree upon. Just say, hey, we all sag our pants and we all throw up gang signs, and unite under that. I guess I don't know. I'm just some common ground. Just get some common ground. Just to stop the damn violence.
Yeah, it's not even like you talking about the Bloods and Crips. Even you see that like this different dynamic happening in among brothers who probably go to college. You might see different ones who like certain dynamic among brothers that actually are in what they call the conscious thought. Even that's divided there.
It is.
Even I was used to study with the Hebrew Israelites. I cannot believe how much division there. The dudes that was in those type of thoughts were just as aggressive and malicious as the ones you see in the streets. Most because a lot of them are actually from the streets. All they did was just instead of thumping guns, you just switched over a gun to a Bible and did the exact same thing. Still was doing the same stuff. Still pimping women. Still taking advantage of women, turning out baby mamas and all that stuff. Nothing's really changed. Only thing that changed is they just took off the fitted hat, put on a turban. That's it. They just changed the outfit, but still the same attitude.
So can we basically say that humans are inherently evil and violent and stuff like that?
You know what, man? I always question whether or not about the human race. Because on my way here to work, my personal opinion, the human species is not even an apex species for starters. We're not an apex. We can act like we are because we got our technology and stuff, but all in all, we're not an apex species. And yes, personally, wouldn't really be that high on the food chain either. We just able to keep ourselves together because we got our technology. But other than that, the human race to me is not that strong. It's just because it's the only species on the planet that doesn't form an equilibrium with its environment. Every other species does that. We don't do that.
Yeah, we tear down environments.
Yeah, and honestly, our species is the cause of a lot of other species going extinct.
Yeah, no, I mean oh my god, spoiler alert! What I'm about to say, alright. I don't know if you're into X-Men or anything like that, but this is not even a spoiler. It was just like a kind of not necessarily throw off sentence, whatever. But and the movie Logan, which I've seen this past weekend, excellent movie. I advise you to go see it.
Oh, okay.
It's based in we're in 2017. About 11 years from now, everything is going to hell or whatever. Not everything necessarily, whatever. It was anyway. The throwaway line pretty much was we thought it was a tiger or triple cobbler or something like that. Did he say triple cobbler? I forgot. Something like that, whatever. And he's like, well, for one, tigers are. He's like, one of those are. No, he's like, is either a tiger, triple cobbler, or you, Wolverine. And he's like, well, for one of those are extinct. Two, the other one is. The second one is. One of those is a myth, and so it has to be you, obviously. And I'm like, and then I just like for the rest of the film, I was like thinking back, like, wow, did he basically say tigers are extinct in 2029? Like. That's really bad. That's not even that far off.
No, it's funny how in a lot of fiction, especially in sci-fi, they be dropping a lot of interesting gems in regards to the future. Most of these events happen in the early mid-21st century. Like in Star Trek, it talks about in one episode about the Bell riots that took place, in 2020. because there was a lot of poverty going on in America, and the government thought the best way to deal with them is to get all these people that's poor and put them in like what appears to be like a internment camp.